Burchett is getting a SCIF. We've got that and a lot more to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, check this out. This is per Dean Johnson, Congress UFO U.A.P. update. Regarding an upcoming U.A.P.-related classified briefing scheduled for some members of the U.S. House of Representatives, I today received the following information from a spokesperson for Representative Tim Burchett, who is co-chairman of the House U.A.P. caucus. I have consolidated into one paragraph answers that were provided to separate questions. The event that is happening on January 12, 2024, will be a classified members-only briefing with the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community, Thomas Monheim, without participation by the Office of the Inspector General of the Department of Defense. This briefing was set up by the House Oversight Committee. It is open to members of the House Oversight Committee, but if other House members or senators are interested, they may notify the committee and would be welcome to attend. David Grush will not be in attendance. We do not have a SCIF scheduled for a briefing with David Grush currently, but the U.A.P. caucus is continuing to push for one. In response to a question from this individual, and what's the purpose of the hearing, is that known? Dean Johnson says, it is not a hearing, it is a members-only classified briefing. Says Burchett, spokesperson, unfortunately, I can't provide any information about what information the members may get to access since it's classified. He also said, in response to this question here, should we read into any of this that the Department of Defense is not participating? Dean Johnson says, no, we should not. They already received a briefing from the Inspector General of the Department of Defense on October 26, 2023, as was widely reported at the time. This time, the committee's invitation was extended specifically to the ICIG. Now, it's important to note that David Grush is scheduled to have a briefing or a talk with Congress at around that same time. So that'll be really interesting to see how that goes and where things go from here. Meanwhile, did Eric Davis say the United States Air Force had ET contact protocol in the late 1940s? This is wild. This is from Joe Murgia, compiling some quotes, and he's got a really great article on his website. USAF developed an ET contact protocol in the late 1940s. It's crazy. Com Kelleher says OSAP wasn't able to collect enough data or have access to enough data to determine the intent of the phenomenon. Here's Eric Davis on OSAP, and let's just go to the article itself, the blog, and this is really fascinating. This is a quote. The ranch, talking about Skinwalker Ranch, was not really central to the OSAP because it was more than peripheral. It was a more than peripheral side issue. JL, and Joe Murgia is not revealing the identity of JL, although he says that individual has been identified online somewhere. And JL thought it was important enough to include it as part of the UFO field investigations that the contract required BASS to implement. The major component was to ascertain UFO threat. That's also something that Com Kelleher has talked about recently. The weapons used by UFOs that cause medical injuries develop a predictive pattern to UFO activities to get ahead of them when they appear, predict future advanced military tech that could defend us against UFO attacks, should that happen, find a way to attempt contact with UFOs and start a dialogue. And in quotes it says, this is per Eric Davis, the United States Air Force developed an ET contact protocol in the late 1940s. And of course the further missions was to find out who and what UFOs are. So I guess the inference is they were going to use this ET contact protocol during OSAP. So did they? Did they have any contact? Did the Air Force have any contact? I mean, for my own research, and I've shared a lot of that with you, it certainly appears the Air Force and the control group were and are likely in contact with beings, and beings were working with them very overtly, and are probably still doing that today. I did a piece yesterday on Melinda Leslie talking about a giant UFO base in Sedona, where it appears that the UFO control group is working with beings, and there's a large amount of UFO activity out of this base, according to Melinda Leslie's research. And of course, all of that needs to be verified and corroborated. But there are many stories like that about the control group working with the beings. So they did have some sort of contact. Did OSAP use this protocol? I would love to know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Meanwhile, Ashton Forbes is not letting MH370 go, and he's got some interesting points here, so let's go over them. There was recently a possible debunk of a fisherman finding or claiming to have found the wing of MH370 years ago, shortly after the event occurred. So is this proof that it was all a hoax or deliberate disinformation? Because that's what I think it probably was, is deliberate disinformation, since there was classified information known to the leaker revealed in that satellite imagery that was not publicly known at the time. So it was an inside job if it was disinformation. Either that, or it was an anomalous event, or some mixture of the two. But let's just go over what Ashton says, and you can make up your own mind. He says, a quick recap and what's to come. In the past couple of weeks, we've seen dubious debunk attempts, including multiple people falsely claiming to have made the videos without a shred of evidence. We've seen cloud pictures inexplicably found by days-old Reddit accounts that don't have any corroboration and don't exist on the internet prior to 2016, from a website whose owner can't possibly explain the files were recently updated and instead makes troll posts. A debunker attempted to recreate the drone video, falling laughably short despite having a reference to copy, showing the complexity and authenticity of the real video. News articles are talking about a guy who 9 years ago claims to have dragged a wing from the airplane in his net. I'm not sure they realize 777 wings are almost 100 feet long. I wish them the best of luck in the search. And he's got a good point. How can you drag a 100-foot long wing into your net? But maybe the fisherman just dragged part of it into his net? I don't know. Ashton goes on to say, I was the victim of felony fraud and an elaborate social engineering scam where Redditors and debunkers fabricated fake RAR files, pictures, drone reports with coordinates in an attempt to belittle me and derail the investigation. Thank you to those who hacked the password quickly and minimized the damage. So there you go. That's Ashton. That's the latest thoughts from Ashton, debunking the latest debunks. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Meanwhile, check this out. This is Egyptian art from long ago. Were they depicting a mantis being? What in the world is this crazy figurine? It sure looks like a mantis being, doesn't it? And I've shown many pictoglyphs or graphs of non-human beings from all over the world depicted by ancient people. Is this one of them? I mean, of course, the ancient Egyptians had to be in contact with beings, right? I mean, I totally buy that. Totally buy that. Is that a UFO right there? I don't know, guys. But that's a pretty good-looking mantis being, I've got to say. Let me know what you think. Meanwhile, Ross Coulthart has this tweet. Trump advisor, Trump should fess up on UFOs. And then he links to this article right here from, this video from The Hill with Trump's advisor. I forget his name. His name is Corey Lewandowski. And so he, basically says that, yes, he's a pro-transparency advocate, and he would recommend that Trump, if he gets into office in 2024, reveal everything. Well, of course he should. All presidents should. President Joe Biden should be giving a press conference right now disclosing all this. Will he? Probably not. Will Trump? Probably not. What we know about Trump's stance on UFOs is that outwardly he affects a stance of being politely interested, grudgingly accepting the UFO reality. And that's about as far as Trump will go publicly. Privately, does he have, a greater interest in it? It wouldn't surprise me. His great uncle was in the FBI and was responsible for the raid on Tesla's apartment or his rooms, where all of Tesla's files were seized. Now, that doesn't mean that Trump's family has been in this for these many years, but, sometimes the stuff does run in families. You never know. Haim Eshed, the brigadier general in Israel, who co-founded Israel's space program, just came out recently, a year or two ago, saying that Trump does know all about it. He knows about the Galactic Federation and that he was going to reveal this to the public. Now, Haim Eshed is a highly credible individual who waited till the end of his life to reveal this information. Does that make the information credible? I don't know, but that would be a huge 180 from Trump's public stance on UFOs. So I tend to doubt it. Does that throw everything else Haim Eshed said into question? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I hear a lot of things about the Galactic Federation lately. It makes sense that it would exist. Of course, non-humans, aliens, other beings would have some coordination between their races. They would have some sort of bureaucratic structure to organize their interest and align their agendas. So, sure, I totally buy the idea of the Galactic Federation. Are they really here on Earth interacting with people? Is that who the UFO control group is working with? Who knows, guys? Who knows? Does Trump know all about it? Again, if he had wanted to reveal this to the public, as Haim Eshed said, and was talked out of it at the last moment, that would be a huge 180 from his public position, and I don't think he would have done that. I really don't. But, let me know what you think in the comments below. Try not to get political, but yeah, it's an interesting thought. Last but not least, this is an older video of Buzz Aldrin, legendary Buzz Aldrin, saying there is a monolith on one of the moons of Mars.
On the moon. We can visit other people with their habitation. We can keep track. If there's something very important to be developed from the moon, I'm not sure what it is right now. And I sure think we should identify what it is for America to make such gross expenditures again for human habitation on the moon. We can help. We can join with. Together, we can explore the moon and develop the moon. We should go boldly where man has not gone before. Fly by the comets, visit asteroids, visit the moon of Mars. There's a monolith there, a very unusual structure on this little potato-shaped object that goes around Mars once in 7 hours. When people find out about that, they're going to say, who put that there? Who put that there? Well, the universe put it there. If you choose, God put it there. Maybe.
Okay, there you go. God put it there. The universe put it there. And what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about that thing. It sure looks rectangular or squarish from here. Nature can produce things that look like they have right angles or that do have right angles. Here's a artist recreation of what it might look like, but who knows what it really looks like. We definitely need eyes on that. I want some satellites to go over there and take a look at it. I want some rovers to go and take a look at it. Who knows? It's very likely just a natural feature, but I do think there are structures on our moon, and there are probably structures on Mars as well. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that. So I love it. I love that idea. If the UFO control group is going off-world with beings, as cases like the Terry Lovelace case seems to suggest, and Terry Lovelace was a veteran that was vetted by Lou Elizondo, who went up in a giant UFO, taken by a giant UFO, where he was seeing military personnel interacting with non-humans. You know, if the control group is going up in giant UFOs, I assume that occasionally they are going off-world. You know, they seem to have their own UFOs. So are they going off-world? Are they visiting these structures on the moon and Mars? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to share this video, that'd be super awesome. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please consider grabbing a t-shirt or a coffee mug in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. I hope you're having a great holiday season.